Have you ever wondered what really lies behind female sexuality? I'm not just talking about the physical aspect, but what goes on in her mind, how her emotions and thoughts intertwine with desire. The truth is, understanding a woman's mind when it comes to pleasure and sexuality is much deeper than you might think. And in this video, we're going to uncover those secrets that many are unaware of. Picture this. You've been with a woman for years. You think you know her perfectly, but one day you realize there's a part of her sexuality you've never fully explored. It's not your fault, nor hers. History, cultural beliefs, and above all, myths have long hidden essential aspects of the female mind and body. But what if you had the keys to awaken sensations in her that even she didn't know she could experience? Today, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of women, and I guarantee that what you discover will not only change how you see a woman's sexuality, but how you experience it with her. We'll rely on studies, expert knowledge, and I'll reveal fascinating facts that will help you better understand the connection between her mind and her desire. My name is Celia, and if this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I promise that what's coming will not only surprise you, but also help improve your intimate and emotional life. Let's get started. Number 1, the hidden power of female desire. When we talk about female desire, it has often been misunderstood or reduced to something almost secondary. But let me tell you something. A woman's sexual desire is not any less intense than a man's. It just works differently. Throughout history, female desire has been repressed or made invisible, but that doesn't mean it isn't there, pulsing beneath the surface. Understanding how it works can completely change your connection with her. Female desire is influenced by a mix of hormones, emotions, and psychological factors. Unlike men, who tend to be more visual and direct, women need an emotional context for their desire to bloom. This doesn't mean they always need to be in love, but emotional connection, feeling safe and understood, plays a fundamental role in their libido. Here's where things get interesting. According to studies, a woman can experience peaks in desire during ovulation due to an increase in testosterone, the so-called hormone of desire. But there are also moments when anxiety or stress can shut it down almost entirely. What does this mean for you? That it's essential to understand her rhythms, and most importantly, don't take them personally. Now, something valuable to remember, female desire isn't static. It's more like a current that flows and changes. But when you learn how to read those signals, you can influence that flow, making desire arise in unexpected ways. It's not just about the physical, it's about how you connect with her emotionally. The key is to be patient, know how to listen, and be present. Because when a woman feels seen and valued beyond just her body, her desire for you naturally increases. In short, female desire is a complex interplay of emotions, hormones, and context. Understanding this won't just bring you closer to her, it will also help create an environment where that desire can flourish more freely without the barriers of daily life. So if you thought it was all about the physical, it's time to start shifting that perspective. Number 2, the female mind and pleasure. Let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed. The brain is a woman's most powerful sexual organ. Yes, more than any other part of her body, everything she feels physically starts in her mind, and that's where the key to understanding her sexuality lies. If you've ever felt like, despite trying everything, something still doesn't click, it's because female pleasure is deeply tied to how she feels mentally and emotionally in that moment. The psychology of female arousal is much more complex than we usually think. Studies have shown that while men can focus more on immediate physical stimulation, women need a combination of mental, emotional, and physical stimuli. The renowned sexologist Emily Nagoski explains it clearly. For a woman, her environment has a direct impact on her ability to feel aroused. If she's stressed, tired, or emotionally disconnected, physical pleasure can be hard to reach. This is where something crucial comes into play: trust. When a woman feels emotionally safe, her mind can relax, and that opens the doors for her body to follow suit. It's no coincidence that oxytocin, known as the love hormone, spikes during a woman's orgasm. This hormone strengthens the feeling of intimacy and connection, which is vital for a woman to experience deep pleasure. So what does this mean for you? If you truly want a woman to fully enjoy her sexuality, you need to engage her mind. And I don't just mean saying the right words, but creating that atmosphere of closeness and security where she can relax. Don't underestimate the power of an intimate conversation, a gentle touch at the right moment, or simply being present. Because when her mind aligns with pleasure, everything else flows. In short, female pleasure doesn't begin or end with the physical. It starts in her mind, in how you make her feel, in the emotional connection you build. If you can touch her mind, you'll be much closer to awakening a pleasure in her that goes beyond the superficial. Number 3, the key differences between male and female sexuality. One of the big questions that often comes up is, why do men and women experience sexuality so differently? While desire and pleasure are universal, the ways they manifest can be radically different. Men tend to be more visual, and their response can be triggered more immediately, while female sexuality is much more influenced by emotional, contextual, and even hormonal factors. For many men, desire can be ignited by clear and direct stimuli, an image, a touch, or a specific situation. But for a woman, sexuality has more layers. It's not just about physical attraction or immediate stimulation. Often, she needs the right context for desire to flourish. If she's stressed, worried, or emotionally disconnected, her body will reflect that. Science backs this up. Neuroimaging studies have shown that the female brain reacts differently during arousal. While certain areas of the male brain shut down, allowing them to disconnect from concerns, women tend to need more time and space to relax and fully enjoy the moment. Another key point is how satisfaction is experienced. For men, it tends to be more straightforward. The climax often marks the peak. However, for a woman, while the climax is important, intimate satisfaction is also deeply tied to emotional connection. This is where gender stereotypes have done harm. Female pleasure isn't a mystery. It simply requires attention to more subtle cues that go beyond the physical. So if you truly want to improve your connection, it's essential to understand these differences. It's not that she doesn't feel desire, it just manifests differently. It often depends on how you connect with her emotional world. The more attuned you are to what she needs in the moment, the easier it will be for both of you to enjoy a much richer and more meaningful experience. So if you notice her desire ignites more slowly, don't take it as a problem. It's simply her natural way of responding. Give her the time and space she needs, and you'll see how the emotional connection you build not only fuels her desire, but also enhances the pleasure you both share. 4. The female peak, much more than just an end. The female climax is one of the most complex and at the same time, most misunderstood experiences. It's not just a physical moment, but a perfect combination of emotional, psychological, and physical factors. Unlike men, for whom climax often signals the end of the encounter, for women, it can be a more fluid process with multiple ways to reach it. And here's the most interesting part. It's not always about a finish. The physical sensations that accompany the female climax, like rhythmic contractions, are only part of the story. In fact, a woman's pleasure is deeply connected to how she feels in the moment, whether she's relaxed, emotionally connected, and comfortable. What's fascinating is that many women experience different types of climaxes, some more intense than others, depending on factors like internal or external stimulation. The female body is capable of reaching pleasure in a variety of ways, adapting to each situation. Interestingly, studies have shown that the female brain remains active during climax in areas related to emotional control and release. While in men, some areas of the brain shut down. In women, it continues processing a more emotional experience. This is where emotional and mental connection plays a vital role. For many women, it's not just about physical stimulation, but about feeling emotionally in tune to reach that moment in a deeper, more satisfying way. Moreover, the climax isn't always the main goal. Often, the process, the shared experience, the foreplay, and the emotional intimacy are just as important as the climax itself. In fact, many women value the emotional connection established with their partner throughout the process even more. It's in those moments where they feel closest and most understood. So, if you've ever thought of climax as simply the happy ending, I invite you to rethink it. For a woman, it can be an important part, but what they truly value is the entire journey leading up to that point, the connection, the care, and above all, being in a space free from pressure where they can let go. If you're enjoying this video so far and feel like you're learning something new, don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button to support this content. I recommend staying until the end because the most eye-opening part is yet to come. For those of you truly committed to understanding the signals and strengthening your relationships, I have a final thought that you won't expect, and it could make a huge difference. And tell me, where are you watching from? I'd love to know. Let's keep going. Number 5, the chemistry of female desire. Behind female desire lies a complex balance of hormones and neurotransmitters that determine when a woman feels most connected to her own desire. It's not all about what you can see or do externally. Much of this process happens inside her body and mind. Hormones like testosterone, oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin are the main players, and each plays a crucial role in igniting and maintaining desire. Testosterone, though often associated with men, is also key for women. This hormone is essential for their libido, and levels tend to rise during ovulation, which explains those peaks of desire at certain points in the cycle. But it's not all about sexual hormones. Oxytocin, also known as the love hormone, is released during moments of arousal and creates a deep sense of emotional connection and closeness. This is why many women associate intimacy not just with physical pleasure, but with a strong emotional bond. Then there's dopamine, the chemical responsible for that reward feeling we get when something brings us pleasure. In women, dopamine is key for awakening desire and seeking pleasurable experiences. However, for everything to flow smoothly, serotonin levels also need to be in balance. This hormone regulates mood and general well-being, and when it's out of balance, due to stress or anxiety for example, it can significantly affect desire. What's fascinating is how these hormones work together, creating a chemical dance that, when in balance, can lead to a deeply satisfying, intimate experience. But when that balance is disrupted, whether by stress, hormonal changes, or even medication, desire can diminish. This is where misunderstandings often arise, with people thinking that the lack of desire is personal, when in reality, it's a response to a complex internal balance. That's why it's essential to understand that the chemistry of the female body is a delicate balance, and it doesn't always depend solely on what's happening in the relationship or environment. If you understand how these hormones and neurotransmitters work, you can be more supportive and find ways to nurture your partner's natural desire without pressure or frustration. Ultimately, it's about creating an environment where her body and mind can work in harmony. Now that we've explored this chemical aspect of female desire, remember that just as important as what you do is how you make her feel. Being in tune with both her body and her mind is key to keeping that spark not only alive, but thriving. 6. Psychological blockages, the great invisible obstacle. Sometimes, no matter how strong the connection or how well-intentioned you are, something may hold back a woman's desire, psychological blockages. These obstacles aren't about a lack of attraction, but stem from deeper issues that affect her ability to fully enjoy intimacy. For many men, this can be frustrating and confusing, but if you can understand where these blockages come from, you can be part of the process to overcome them. Psychological blockages can have various causes. One of the most common is stress. We live in a world full of work, personal, and social demands that can overwhelm anyone. But in women, stress can directly impact desire. When a woman's mind is focused on daily responsibilities or worries, it becomes difficult to relax enough to enjoy the moment. Even if her body is present, if her mind isn't, the experience just doesn't flow. Another frequent cause is anxiety, sometimes linked to intimacy itself. Some women may feel pressure to perform or meet certain expectations, which generates anxiety and prevents them from fully enjoying the moment. Add to that past negative experiences or limiting beliefs shaped by upbringing or culture, and pleasure can be blocked before it even begins. The important thing to remember here is that these blockages aren't permanent. With patience, understanding, and good communication, you can help your partner overcome them. Often, what she needs is to feel supported without being judged. Knowing she can openly talk about what she feels or what's holding her back can make a huge difference. It's not about fixing the problem, but being there, creating a safe space where she can feel vulnerable without fearing it will affect the relationship. Techniques like mindful breathing, meditation, or even sexual therapy can be incredibly helpful in overcoming these blockages. At the same time, having open conversations about both of your fears and expectations is crucial. Each small step toward mutual understanding is a step toward a more fulfilling and satisfying intimate life. In summary, psychological blockages are real and affect many women, but they aren't insurmountable. The key lies in empathy, communication, and creating an environment where both mind and body can relax. If you understand this, you'll be much closer to helping your partner fully enjoy her sexuality. And together, you can explore new ways of pleasure without the limitations these blockages impose. 7. Mood disorders and their impact on the female mind. Mood disorders such as depression or anxiety can have a profound impact on a woman's intimate life. It's not just about being in a bad mood or having a rough day. These disorders directly affect desire, the ability to enjoy intimacy, and even how a woman perceives herself. This, of course, can influence the relationship with her partner. When a woman is going through a depressive episode, her sexual desire may disappear almost entirely. It's not that she's lost interest in her partner, but depression suppresses any impulse toward enjoyment. According to a study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders, people with depression are more likely to experience difficulties in their intimate life. For women, this often translates to a lack of desire, trouble feeling connected or relaxed, and issues reaching that point of satisfaction. On the other hand, disorders such as anxiety or even bipolar disorder can cause ups and downs in female sexuality. During episodes of anxiety or extreme stress, the body and mind are in a constant state of alert, making it difficult to relax and enjoy the moment. However, in certain phases, like during hypomania episodes, desire can suddenly spike. These changes can create confusion for both the woman and her partner, as desire seems to shift abruptly and without clear reason. These highs and lows not only affect intimate life, but also self-esteem and how a woman feels about her body. It's common for a woman dealing with a mood disorder to feel disconnected from her body, which can lead to insecurity. This is where the support and understanding of her partner are crucial. Knowing that the issue isn't a lack of interest, but something deeper, allows the situation to be approached with patience and compassion. Managing these disorders requires proper treatment, whether through therapy, medication, or a combination of both. For couples, maintaining open communication about what's happening is vital. Accepting that desire may fluctuate due to mental health factors is a key step in strengthening the relationship and overcoming challenges together. In summary, mood disorders can drastically affect a woman's intimate life. However, with the right treatment and a supportive, understanding partner, it's possible to find balance and maintain emotional and intimate connection. The journey may not be easy, but mutual understanding makes it much more manageable. 8. Female sexual dysfunctions, a challenge with solutions. Female sexual dysfunctions are a topic that's rarely discussed openly, yet they affect many women at some point in their lives. These challenges can range from a lack of desire to difficulty reaching climax, or even experiencing pain during intimacy. If left unaddressed, these dysfunctions can have a significant impact on emotional well-being and the relationship with a partner. Hypoactive sexual desire disorder is more common than you might think. It's estimated that between 10% and 20% of women experience it at some point in their lives, according to the American Psychiatric Association. A lack of desire doesn't mean the woman no longer loves her partner or doesn't want intimacy. It's that her body and mind aren't responding in the same way. The causes can be hormonal, psychological, or a combination of factors like stress or low self-esteem. Anorgasmia, or difficulty reaching climax, is another dysfunction that can lead to frustration. While many women enjoy intimacy without necessarily reaching orgasm, the persistent inability to do so can cause anxiety. Studies by sexologist Sexuality have shown that over 30% of women don't always climax during intimate encounters. The causes are often emotional, such as fear of losing control or lack of confidence, and treatment often involves working together as a couple. Vaginismus and dyspareunia, pain during intimacy, are more physical dysfunctions, but often have a significant emotional component. Vaginismus involves involuntary muscle contractions, which can make the experience extremely painful or even impossible. These dysfunctions require specialized treatment, which may include both physical and emotional therapy to overcome the barriers that have developed. It's crucial to remember that these dysfunctions are not a failure in the woman, nor something to be ashamed of. The most important thing is to maintain open communication in the relationship and seek professional help. Most of these situations have solutions, and with the right treatment, it's possible to restore a fulfilling and satisfying intimate life. Sexual health professionals often use tools like the Female Sexual Function Index to assess and plan necessary treatment. If your partner is going through one of these challenges, the most valuable thing you can do is offer support and listen without judgment. These dysfunctions don't just affect the body, they also impact emotional well-being, and empathy is key to overcoming them together. In short, while female sexual dysfunctions are a challenge, they are not insurmountable. The key lies in recognizing them, seeking the right help, and, most importantly, maintaining honest communication in the relationship. The solution starts with the first step, talking about it without fear or taboo. 9. Womanhood in the mature years. There's a common myth that says female sexuality fades with age, especially after menopause. But the reality is quite different. Female sexuality doesn't disappear with age, it simply evolves. For many women, maturity brings a new sense of freedom and confidence in their bodies, opening the door to an intimate life that can be even more satisfying than in their younger years. It's true that menopause brings hormonal changes that can affect libido and lubrication. However, these challenges don't mark the end of pleasure. What really changes is how women connect with their sexuality. In this stage of life, many women feel more comfortable with themselves and face fewer external pressures or social expectations. This can be a time of renewal, where experience, confidence, and wisdom play crucial roles. The key is communication and a willingness to explore new ways of enjoying intimacy. For some women, penetration may become less comfortable due to decreased estrogen, but there are many ways to experience pleasure without relying solely on it. Foreplay, touch, kissing, and intimate conversations can take center stage, with emotional intimacy becoming more important than ever. The philosopher Seneca said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." This idea applies to sexuality as well. We shouldn't let societal myths dictate when or how to enjoy intimacy. Instead of seeing it as something that diminishes with age, we should view it as a continuous journey of self-discovery and adaptation. Sexuality in maturity is an opportunity to reinvent oneself, to reconnect with a partner in deeper, more meaningful ways. With age, a woman's self-confidence can also increase. Many discover a newfound sense of power and security in their bodies, which allows them to feel freer to experiment and enjoy without the insecurities they may have had in their younger years. This is where accumulated experience becomes a powerful ally. If you're in a relationship with a mature woman, remember that understanding and a willingness to explore new forms of intimacy are essential. It's not just about adjusting to physical changes, but about nurturing the emotional connection that can make intimacy even more satisfying over time. In short, female sexuality doesn't have an expiration date. Like everything in life, it evolves, and over time, it can become even more fulfilling and mindful. What truly matters is how you approach those changes, with openness, curiosity, and above all, the certainty that pleasure and intimate connection don't fade with age. They transform and deepen. Female sexuality, like all valuable things in life, is complex, rich, and deep. It's not just about understanding the body, but about understanding the mind, emotions, and how everything is interconnected. The beauty of sexuality is that it never stops evolving. As we grow and mature, we discover new ways to connect with ourselves and with our partners, exploring a pleasure that goes beyond the physical. And here lies the real value. When we understand that sexuality is not a destination, but a continuous journey of self-discovery, we free ourselves from expectations and find a much more complete form of pleasure. Each stage of life offers a unique opportunity to rediscover the power of intimacy, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical. And although society has often tried to box in or limit female sexuality, we now know that true pleasure and satisfaction lie in the hands of those who choose to live freely, consciously, and without restraints. Respecting your own body and mind and fostering open communication with your partner are the keys to a fulfilling and satisfying intimate life, no matter your age or circumstances. The psychologist Carl Jung said, "Knowing yourself is the first step to conquering the world." And in this case, conquering your intimate world begins by understanding your own desires, your blockages, and your possibilities. Because a deep, intimate relationship is not just about techniques or practices, but about emotional wisdom and self-awareness. So, I invite you to keep exploring, keep learning, and above all, keep connecting with the essence of who you are. My name is Celia, and I want this to be a space of wisdom where we can openly talk about these important topics, without taboos, but always with respect. I want us to find ways to improve our daily lives, not just in intimacy, but in everything we do. Because in the end, every small change we make within ourselves reflects in our relationships and our well-being. If this is your first time on the channel, I invite you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming topics we'll be discussing. And if you've made it this far, it means you take your personal growth seriously, and that deserves recognition. So, to know who the committed ones are that stayed until the end, comment the phrase, "I love wisdom," and tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know which country you're connected from. I'd be thrilled to hear from you and know who's with me on this journey of self-discovery. And don't leave without sharing this video with your loved ones. There may be someone in your life who needs to hear these words today and find a new perspective. Sometimes, a small piece of advice can make a big difference. I'll see you in the next video.